Yo! You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Day 4 of NBA free agency, and the New York Knicks have still not signed anybody. It's been pretty dang boring, but we're here. We're breaking it down. We've got a bunch to talk about. 5 questions that Leon Rose must answer before the 2024 season gets kicked off. 3 trade targets for the New York Knicks, and we may have 2 mailbags as well. Let's get the comment section going. Shout out your city for me as my man Nick Davidov's in the building. Nick Davidov, I have good news for you, brother. I've got good news for you, Nick Davidov, but I need everybody to drop an eyeball emoji in the chat before I share the good news with my man Nick Davidov. What up, what up, what up? Shout out to Morris, Ruben Serrano, Rays for Life, Luis, John Pettit, Nassim Khan, Leon Mitchell, Kobe Darnell, Ruben Serrano dropping an eyeball emoji. What up, what up? David Taylor in the building. G5 Weez, R Cool 66. Kenny Payne, is that you? The Kenny Payne? Mizak Saponi. I know I did not pronounce that correctly. But Nick Davidov, are you ready for the good news? Are you ready for the good news? I know what he's going to do, and I'm kind of waiting on what he's going to do so I can give him the good news before he does what he does. But I'm not seeing enough eyeball emojis in the chat. I need all 250 people that are watching right now to give me an eyeball emoji in the chat. Fred Morris says Big Red. Who's Big Red? I'm Big Red? Big Red the soda? Big Red the pop? There we go. Now we're getting some eyeball emojis in the chat. Cam Belly, Genuine Colon, Tavon, Niall Dimitri, Tony, Paul, Colby, Fernando. Shout out to everybody in the building. The Worst Triangle says, let's go, let's go, let's go. Steve Chandler in the building. Anthony's in the building. Theodore in the building. Carlos Ortega, Rays for Life, Black Ghost Rider, Air Force One. That's good stuff. The Morris family, Ruben Serrano. Nick Davidov, you were the winner of our jersey raffle from day 1, day 2, and day 3 of NBA free agency. So Nick Davidov, I need you to email me the jersey you want, the size you want, and your address. So Nick Davidov, you were the winner of our jersey raffle. Major love to you. We're going to get you whatever jersey you want of a New York Knick. I need you to send me your size, your shipping address, and what color jersey you want. If you need my email again, I'll just email you, but it's marshall@chatsports.com. Pretty dang simple. I hope he's still in the chat. There's a lot of eyeballs going on, and I haven't seen anything from Davidov. Major shout out to Mr. Nick Davidov, though, a major supporter of Knicks Now by Chat Sports. Let's go, let's go. He says, thanks, Marshall. Awesome. Send me that email, Davidov, the jersey, the player, the color, the size, and shipping address. I need those 4 from you. Shipping address, size, color, and player. My man Bank, of course I remember you. What's up, man? What's up? He says, I am amazed. Nick Davidov, we're amazed by your presence in this live show every single time you tune in. John Pettit says, love my poster of Josh Hart. John Pettit, that was the best poster I thought we gave away all season long. I liked the Brunson one shooting a shot over Wemby just because Wemby's going to be the face of the NBA for the next 12 years. But man, that Josh Hart one, that one's dope. My man Mike G in the building. What's up, Mike G? My man, we got some goats in the building today. Hey, I'm off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It would be a terrible idea if we started a party here as we're already on the weekend here on Marshall Green Time. My man Keith Jackson, what up? What up? Kenny Payne says, should the Knicks try to get Valanciunas? Well, no, they can't because he is a member of the Washington Wizards. He already signed. Happy dads for Marsh? Hey, if we get a $50 super chat, I'll do a beer shotgun. Maybe a boot, maybe some boots. Oh, the boots are tough. Boots. If we get a $100 super chat, I'll do a boot. F it. I might even get Patrick Seatman out there to race me, which he'll lose, probably. I don't know. Seeps is out there. He's probably thirsty. My man Isaac Smith in the building. High fives, brother. High fives. Mike G, never. Could never, would never, should never. Could, would, should, never. Never, ever. What you know about that? Kanye? 360 people watching. Please hit that thumbs up icon. We only got 46 likes. These are rookie numbers. Hit that thumbs up icon. And if you've liked the video, type me. We got a lot to talk about on today's show. Latest rumors around the New York Knicks are that they're interested in Walker Kessler and that they're interested in Nick Richards. We did a video on that this morning. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Videos on the channel have been going crazy. It's because you all are some crazy SOBs, and I appreciate every single one of y'all. Vernon dropping an eyeball emoji. Hey, it's my Friday. I'm down to party. I'm down to talk some New York Knicks hoops. We could do it. Lennox Charles, what's good, brother? Anthony says, I say trade Josh Hart, Mike, and Ikes for Kessler. Dead. Bank in the bill and dropping the eyeball emojis. Who's getting us started? Here in happy hour? John Pettit's typing me. We've got the juice in the chat. It's been a kind of slow day once again in NBA free agency. As you can see at the top of the screen, we're just rotating some moves that have happened through 3.5 days of free agency. Still no moves for the New York Knicks. They were able to bring back OG Anunoby and trade John Pettit. I'm off, but I'm technically on call as well. Off, but on call because I told you, if the Knicks make a move, the Knicks do anything, I'm making a video. It's a VOD. Doing it from the phone, bring the laptop, something. Bring my backpack to the beach. John Pettit says I'm off in the winter. Hey, I could use some off time. It was a long Giants season that broke my heart, not once, not twice, but 50 times, and then a long Knicks season. I was in season mode from the beginning of August till really the middle of May. This is finally off-season mode for me, and we're not even there yet because this is the peak of NBA off-season, and we're getting you multiple videos every single day. My guy Michael Everhart says, what's going on, Marsh? What about sign and trade Alec Burks and some picks to the Blazers for Rob Williams? Well, you can't sign and trade Alec Burks because he's heading to the 305. He is signing a deal to go play for the Miami Heat. Alec Burks is going to play for the Heat, baby. What should they do? If you want to be featured on our mailbag coming up in about an hour or so, use hashtag Knicks or Super Chat. John Penn says, how real is the rumor about Kessler? Real enough for Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype to report it. Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype reported it. That's all we've heard. So I'm going to listen. I don't think Scotto would just make that up. He at least heard that from one person. That's where we are on that. If we do want to do a mailbag, we got to have some questions from the real ones. So use your hashtag Knicks, ask a question, voice your thoughts, and we'll do a mailbag. Let's dive into the 5 questions that Leon Rose has to answer before the season. How about that? 5 questions Leon Rose must answer. What up? You don't believe in Rand? Who's Rand? G5 Wee's getting a question in. Shout out to you. Not really. Nova Media USA says, hey, Marsh, what about a shout out to us 60-plus-year-old OGs? Shout out to all the OGs in the chat. Shout out to the old heads. We appreciate y'all bringing some wisdom into the chat full of a bunch of young Knicks fans. We need it. We need it. You've suffered much longer than we have. You've suffered much longer than we have. John Thotty getting his question in. Appreciate you, my man. If you haven't yet, get your questions in. Hashtag Knicks or Super Chat. We get a $50 Super Chat. I'm doing a beer shotgun. $100. We're doing beer boots. Celebrating a 4-day weekend coming up. Can't wait for it. But let's talk about it. 5 questions Leon Rose must answer. The New York Knicks have had a great offseason so far, making a blockbuster trade for Mikal Bridges, being able to re-sign OG Anunoby, but there are still moves to be made, and more importantly, there are still questions that Leon Rose must answer before this season starts. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. If you're ready for the season, hit that thumbs up icon for us. Question number 1, Leon Rose needs to answer. Is Mitchell Robinson the answer as the starting center for the 2024-2025 season? There are multiple layers to this question, so let's peel them back. Layer number 1, is he going to be available? The best way to predict the future is to look at the past. And Mitchell Robinson has played more than 59 games one time in the last 4 seasons. That tells me that it's more likely than not that he is going to miss a chunk of the season this year. And right now, the only player that you have invested in that is on the roster as we record this video on July 3rd at 6:15 Eastern Time, you only got Mitchell Robinson and you only got Jericho Sims. Also, Robinson coming off 2 major injuries in the last 7 months, in the last 7.5, 8 months. 2 stress-related ankle surgeries. That's not good. When you're 7 feet tall and you weigh 250 plus pounds, it's not good when you're a big man and you start to have stress-related injuries in the feet and in the ankles. 30 games played last year. 59 games played the year before. Hey, if you get 72 games from Robinson like you did in 2021, 2022, I think you're fine. But you can't have another season where he plays less than 50 games. You absolutely cannot, especially if Jericho Sims is the only player that you have as a backup center. I think that will change. I think the Knicks are looking to make a move there, but they haven't yet. Still a lot of offseason to go. Look, this is my thoughts on Robinson. If Mitch is healthy for the playoffs, the Knicks are fine. Like, is he the perfect center for this team? No. Is there going to be a drop-off of skill compared to when he's out there to when Isaiah Hartenstein was out there? Absolutely. But if you can promise me right now that Mitchell Robinson will be able to roll for the playoffs, I'll sign up for that, and I won't cry about it. But I do worry about him against the Boston Celtics. I don't love the idea of Mitchell Robinson chasing around Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis on the perimeter. I also don't love him against the Miami Heat. He's not a good defender on Bam Adebayo. Those bigs that more so operate outside the paint tend to give Mitchell Robinson a little bit of trouble. I also am worried about him being a negative on offense. Safe to say, sometimes you got to play 4-on-5. All he can contribute is out of the dunker spot and creating more offensive possessions for you via rebounding the ball. But overall, if he's healthy, I think you're fine. Although I think the offensive skill comes down, maybe the offensive rebounding goes up. There's definitely a trade-off there. What is your confidence level in Mitchell Robinson as a starting center? Knicks offense will have to change. They use Hartenstein as a playmaking hub at the top of the key, backdoor cuts, dribble handoffs. That's not Robinson's game. He stretched the floor by being able to be a facilitator. Robinson cannot do that. Robinson makes Julius Randle less efficient. I worry about that. Your confidence in him. Scale 1 to 10, 1 being you're not confident, 10 you got all the confidence in the world. Burning question number 2 that Leon Rose must answer. What is Deuce McBride's role for the 2024-2025 season? I love Deuce McBride. People think I just want to trade him because I don't like him. Why would I not like a player that can guard almost every point guard in this league and can knock down the 3 ball at 40%? I love that. This is the problem, though. with Dante DiVincenzo being moved to the bench because you traded for Mikal Bridges, how much tick, how much burn, how many minutes is Deuce McBride going to play on a night in, night out basis? You get 48 minutes at point guard, you get 48 minutes at the 2 guard. Brunson's going to average 35 minutes per game. Mikal Bridges is going to average 35 minutes per game. That's all right. That means there is only 28 minutes left at the point guard and shooting guard spot. Is DiVincenzo playing 20 minutes and then Deuce McBride's playing 8? DiVincenzo's got to play. He does. This guy was great in Game 7. He was playing 50-plus minutes a game in the regular season at times when they went into overtime. And it stings because Deuce is a good player. You see the growth. Knocked down 41% of his threes last year. He's gotten better and better every single season. He is a weapon on the defensive end. But the fact of the matter is, the Knicks are more tied to Dante DiVincenzo than they are Deuce McBride. They gave DiVincenzo $50 million. He's the better player. Much better offensively. Not as good defensively. But overall, there is not a single general manager, if you exclude the price point, that would take Deuce over Mitch, or a Deuce over Dante. So Dante's going to play. And this is a question he has to ask himself, him being Leon Rose. Is the insurance of Deuce, because that's what he is at this point. Second guards off the bench don't play that much. Is the insurance of Deuce behind Brunson, behind Bridges, behind DiVincenzo? Is the insurance in maybe 10 to 15 minutes per game worth not using him in a trade to upgrade the roster elsewhere? Like maybe a backup center that could be a little bit more pressing of a need. Maybe you upgrade the starting lineup via center and you move Mitch to the bench. You need to ask yourself, can we use the talent of Deuce and the value of Deuce to improve this roster at a bigger hole and a bigger position need? I'm not trading Deuce unless I can add someone to this team that makes them better. I want Deuce on this team. But sometimes you got to give to get. And if the Knicks want to get somebody pretty good, probably going to have to give up Deuce McBride. Question number 3, Leon Rose must answer. Is Julius Randle a part of the future? And I don't mean just this year. I mean the long-term future of the New York Knicks that have a core of Brunson, Bridges, OG, Hart, Dante. Is he a part of that core? You look at Julius Randle's contract. He's on the books for this year at $28.9 million. He has a player option for 2025-2026. We could live in a world where 11 months from now, Julius Randle declines his player option and he is an unrestricted free agent. And if you do not think that the New York Knicks are thinking about that and trying to decide what they need to do, you are simply just wrong. I think the Knicks offer Randle a contract extension this summer. I also think Julius Randle will decline it because the money that the Knicks are going to offer him is going to be, in Randle's mind, maybe a little disrespectful, and he's going to think he can get more on the open market, which he might. And if you offer the guy a contract extension and he does not accept it, that tells you, 1, he may be thinking about leaving, and 2, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. And what do you do in that situation? You may have to trade him to get value back so he does not leave in free agency for nothing. I'm not saying trade Randle. I'm not saying keep Randle. I'm outlining the series of events that are to come. Randle could be a free agent 11 months from now. The Knicks need to have a plan if that does happen. Randle was great this regular season. I thought it was the best regular season he had played in quite some time. When Anunoby came to the Knicks, he was playing great basketball. He was playing winning basketball. He was doing more things to help the team stack W's. But, man, I still can't forget about the playoffs. I can't. I don't need to touch the stove to know it is hot. He was terrible against the Hawks for whatever reasons. Whether that's because Elfrid Payton, Reggie Bullock, the Knicks didn't have anybody, sure. He was not good against the Cavaliers. Coming off an ankle injury. Could be a reason. He was not good against the Heat. Same thing. Can you depend on Julius Randle in the playoffs? That's a question that the Knicks will be asking themselves. Does his game translate to the playoffs? They will be asking themselves that question. Overall, it comes back to this. If regular season Randle, if 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA Julius Randle shows up in the playoffs, the Knicks can and will win the NBA Finals. Randle is the biggest X factor on this team. If Randle plays like he has in the past in the playoffs, they're going to lose in the second round again, if not before that. But if the guy that's been in the All-Star game 3 times and an All-NBA selection 2 times, if that player shows up in the playoffs, the Knicks are going to be contending for an NBA Finals for years to come. My question to you is this before we continue on in today's program. Is this Julius Randle's last season with the Knicks? He has a player option for next season. He could decline that and be a free agent this time next year. Is this his last season with the Knicks? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Burning question number 4, Leon Rose must answer. Does this team that is currently constructed have enough to win it all? You need to ask yourself that question because when you trade 5 first-round picks and you give up a pick swap, essentially losing control of 6 first-round picks, and you move all your young pieces in Emmanuel Quickley, R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, when you traded those 4 players and you gave up the rights to 6 first-round picks, you are all in. You've pushed all your chips into the middle of the table. And you need to ask yourself, can this team win it all? You look at the roster. It looks damn good on paper with Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride and Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart. That's a great top 8. But I worry about the depth at the backup front court. Who's your backup 4? Is it Josh Hart? Who's your backup 5? Is it Jericho Sims? Is Tyler Kolek your point guard off the bench? Are we going to ask McBride to be the point guard off the bench? I think we've seen by now McBride is better off the ball than on the ball. I think this team, if healthy, can win a championship. But I think you need to be more than a championship contender if you only stay healthy. You probably should pencil in one player being hurt. Hopefully it's not Brunson, Bridges, or OG. So you need, in my opinion, one more player. I think if healthy, they're good enough to win it all, but I also think they could use another backup center. I think they should re-shine Precious Achiuwa. I think they should go out and add Kyle Lowry in free agency, another veteran. I think there's still moves to be made, but if healthy, if your top 8 is Brunson, Mikal, OG, Randle, Mitch, Hart, Dante, and Deuce, that top 8 should be able to win it all. But you still don't have a backup center. And I don't think you can go into the season with a Mitchell Robinson being your only investment at that big man spot. Last question that Leon Rose needs to answer before the season starts. Is Tom Thibodeau done a masterful job since becoming the head coach of the New York Knicks? My question to you would be, how many coaches are for sure better than Tom Thibodeau? I'd say Eric Spoelstra. Then who else? Who for sure else is better? I'll let you tell me in the comments section. The resume speaks for itself. Tom Thibodeau came to the Knicks in 2021 after the Knicks won less than 30 games, and he got him in the playoffs. Got him in the playoffs. They were the 4th seed. Then there was a hiccup in 2022. The roster didn't improve. Randle had a setback. You finished 11th. But then since then, you've been one of the best teams in the NBA. 2023, you were 47-35. You were the 5th seed in the NBA, and you lost in the second round. The next year, you were 50-32, number 2 in the East, lost in the second round. I love the results of the team in the season, but the thing that I love about Tom Thibodeau the most is the development of the players that have been added. Jalen Brunson came to the New York Knicks after not being playable in the playoffs against the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals for the Dallas Mavericks, and now he's a top guard in the East, top guard in the NBA. He got better. Julius Randle didn't have a home in the NBA. Bounced around from the Lakers to the Pelicans. Nobody wanted him. Never made the All-Star team. Never was an All-NBA player. You sign him, and he's got 3 All-Star teams to his name and 2 All-NBA players. Josh Hart, if you remember, nobody wanted to give him any guaranteed money after his rookie contract went out. He went from the Lakers to the Pelicans and was traded to the Blazers, and people forgot about him. Then he became one of the best players in the Eastern Conference and was one of the best players in the playoffs this past year. Dante DiVincenzo, the Golden State Warriors didn't want him back last year. He said he can't play in the playoffs. He can't shoot. He can't do any of that. He just had his best season in the NBA, dropped over 35 points in a Game 7, and he's going to continue to get better and better. What about Deuce McBride? Second-round draft pick. People thought there's no way that Deuce will be able to get it done in the NBA. He comes to the Knicks. He gets better every single year. He is now looked at as a major part of the rotation. Push this across. How can you not love the development of Deuce? Isaiah Hartenstein comes to the Knicks, signs a 2-year, $16 million deal, and after that contract's over, he inks a 3-year, $87 million deal. The development speaks for itself. Mitchell Robinson goes from high school to not playing hoops for a year and then joined the Knicks. And now he's looked at as one of the best shot blockers and one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. Every player that has joined the Knicks has developed. Manuel quickly got better. Quentin Grimes' best time was with the Knicks. You come to the Knicks, you get paid. The development under Tibbs should not be slept on. Grade Tom Thibodeau's tenure as the Knicks head coach. Get out your red pen for him. A, B, C, D, or F. Tibbs. How has he done so far as the Knicks head coach? Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Knicks. Tibbs deserves a contract extension. He deserves a contract extension. Absolutely. He's earned it. He's earned it. Marco, it's my show. I'm never going to listen to you when you tell me what to do, brother. So you're just yelling at yourself in the chat. You could probably go do something else. C. Marshall says, you making this up. Making what up? What am I making up? Spo Pops Tyloo is not a better basketball coach than Tom Thibodeau. And to be honest, I don't think Steve Kerr is. Greg Popovich has been irrelevant for 10 years. What if we don't get at center? Better hope Mitchell Robinson stays healthy. Better hope Mitchell Robinson stays healthy. NY Rail gives him a B. Beta Youth gives him a B. Keith Jackson an A. Farhat S. Kerr B-. You think we can go after Sadiq Bey? The most we can offer a free agent is 1 year, $5.2 million. Carl B+. Love all caps typers. Sometimes I miss Mike Brown. Not sure why. James Williams says, Google who will win the championship next 10 years and watch what comes up. Cameron Johnson, A-. Air Pegasus, we went from top 2 in the East, then iHeart didn't sign, now we're top 5. Indy, Philly got better, and Milwaukee still is. How did Indianapolis get better? How did Indy get better? Yeah, they lost Jalen Smith because they added James Wiseman. They got better? That's a reach. That's a reach. Marshall, how much true is this? The Knicks move Mitchell Robinson. That was a mock trade by an athletic writer. Air Pegasus, who did they add that was depth? Who did they add? I'm just asking you. Because they didn't add anyone that was depth. They signed a center because they lost a center. Let's see what it would cost to get Brook Lopez from Milwaukee. I don't love the idea of trading for a 35-year-old center. But I do love the play style of Brook Lopez. I do. Look, Pacers are a good team, but you can't say they got better this offseason. They've done nothing to get better. The only way they got better is Ben Mathurin got healthy, and is Ben Mathurin even in the long-term plans now with the Indiana Pacers? Yeah, I'm with you, John Pettit. How do we not have depth? We have 3 great players off the bench in Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, and Deuce McBride. You bring back Precious Achiuwa, and you got a big man. I don't know if Zubac will become available. I don't. I haven't heard anything about that. Yeah, if you guys could ask these questions and include hashtag Knicks in the comments, or you're going to force producer Jack to go no filter mode and be a god. And that's tough on producer Jack. That's just asking a lot of you. Good thing it's only day 4 of free agency. Philly is on our ass, but not much better. Hey, Philly got better. There's no doubt about that. We also got better. We added Mikal Bridges. Any news on the Kessler trade? Not much. Marco says, I can't super chat. It's okay, Marco. Pacers are a one and done like the 2021 Hawks. Were my 5 questions for Leon Rose fair? I thought those were fair. I thought it was fair. Marshall wanted more Kelly Oubre than OG. You wanted Kelly Oubre more than OG Anunoby? Kelly Oubre got an $8 million deal. OG Anunoby is being paid $40 million. They are not nearly on the same tier of player. CPJ, fair questions? Appreciate you, dog. Hector says, what do I think Mo Cheeks brings to the staff? Mo Cheeks, baby. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. Another guy that's been in the NBA that's a Hall of Famer that maybe some players can look up to and get some tips from. He's been a head coach before. I don't know. He's definitely bringing Mo Cheeks to the bench, though. Literally and figuratively. Nice says Marshall, Kelly Oubre on defensive rating is better. You should never ever say Kelly Oubre is a better defender than OG Anunoby. I actually just never want to engage with you in the chat again if you think that, because it's just not true. That's like saying I've got a mohawk. I don't. Kelly Oubre is not even close to the defender OG Anunoby is. Not even close. If you are using defensive rating to decide who's a better defender, you just owe yourself better than that. You owe yourself better than that, brother. Yeah, Kelly Oubre played really good defense in the playoffs. He let Jalen Brunson average 36 points per game on him. Played really good. Brunson lit him up for 36 a night. Played so good, Jalen Brunson averaged 36 points in a 6-game series. It's not even close who's a better defender. Kelly Oubre. He was so good, why did he only get $8 million? Oh, man, so he played good defense, and he let his matchup average 36 points and 9 assists. Like saying, I did really good at work today. What'd you do? Nothing. Nothing. I would have taken Kelly Oubre for $8 million. Absolutely. Would have loved Kelly Oubre for $8 million. Just not true, man. It's just not true. What's up, Brian B? What up, what up? Let's jump into this next segment here. 3 trade targets for the New York Knicks. Vontae Lyles, what up? Yeah, my grade for Tom Thibodeau so far would be a B+. It'd be a B+. That would be my grade. Don't know why we didn't sign Obi Toppin, because Obi Toppin's not a good basketball player. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Just like we traded him for a reason. Banks says, are you related to Draymond Green? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. As Smith fan, 22. The only super chat of the day has come in from a Mavericks fan. That hurts my stomach a little bit. That hurts my stomach a little bit. I thought, you know what, maybe the crew would be ready to go live for day 4 and party. I feel like y'all are sleeping like Leon Rose is sleeping right now. Smith fan, 22, appreciate the super chat, man. Says, don't the Mavericks have a trade exception and future first-round picks for McBride? That would be a question for Jeffrey Cooperstein. To be honest with you, I don't know the pick situation for the Dallas Mavericks. I also don't know what their trade exceptions look like at this point. Deuce McBride makes $4 million. Maybe you have a trade exception for $4 million. I think you used it, though, in that trade for Klay Thompson. Not 100% sure. I don't know. If the Mavs offered a first-round pick for Deuce, I'd have to think about it. But I think I say no at this point. I think I say no. Because you need the player more than you need the pick. You need the player more than you need the pick. Johnson, you coming in with a super chat. Mo Cheeks as in Mo Cheeks or Mo Cheeks Kyle Lowry. If you have Mo Cheeks on your bench and you sign Kyle Lowry, you've got the most cheeks. You got the most cheeks. John Pettit says we're working the phones with the Jazz to give us Kessler, or we're coming to get him. I'm with you. CPJ says, yo, Marsh, my grade for Tibbs, I'm not going to put out there yet because the regular season adjustment that cost us games still lingers with me. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Freedom Funnel? If you want to come do it, we got $5 super chat. Well, Freedom Funnel?
It's 4th of July Eve, dude. I mean, USA! USA! USA!
I'm dead. Shout out to Trizzy Trace. Always bringing the vibes. Always bringing the energy. Love it.
Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, Knicks!
Yes, sir.
Let's go, Knicks!
Yes, sir. Shout out to Triz.
Keep on fighting! Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
We got big Knicks. We got big Knicks energy.
Yeah. Shout out to Big Nick Energy. Shout out to Big Nick Energy. CPJ. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Randle for Wemby? I don't know if I could do it. Marsh Jr. He's here. Look at him. This is my son. This is my son. Oh, man, those stripes are crazy.
Don't tell Tex.
Don't tell Tex about the striped shirts on air. Pickleball Danny, what do you think of Ariel Huck-Porty? I think that he was the last pick in the NBA draft, and I don't have any expectations for him in his rookie season. That's a little much to ask out of the last pick in the NBA draft to be our backup center. Shirt looked like the Twilight Zone. I'm dead. Marsh, you got some bad takes, bro. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate you. I also think you have bad takes, so we're even. How about this? You make a YouTube channel, you share your takes, and I will not watch. Exactly, CPJ. Purdy did it. Brock Purdy did it. AJ McMecca, Marsh, we are so glad you are the representative of the Knicks Nation. Thanks, bro. I love this chat. Half the people think I stink, half the people love me. That means I'm doing all right, baby. My mom told me you can't please everybody. You can't please everybody. My man Brian B, $5 super chat. What's up, bro? Hey, Marsh, do you think there is a strategy out there to sign Precious and wait until the trade deadline to target for a center, maybe more available? Yes, I think that's exactly what this plan is at this point. I'm sure Leon Rose is working the phones, trying to find a trade that makes sense, but I think that this is the plan that's probably going to unfold, Brian. I think they're going to re-sign Achiuwa. There's no reason not to. They own his bird rights, so they can re-sign him. And then I think you look to the trade deadline for a center. That's probably the move. That's probably the move. I like Turnal says, how do I apply for Chat Sports? You want to run a Nuggets channel? Send me a 10-minute video of you telling me why you think you should be the Nuggets host, and then give me another 10-minute video of you talking about the Nuggets. Deal? Deal? 10-minute video as why you think you're the guy, and another 10-minute video as to a segment that would be your first video on the Nuggets channel. Deal? Send me that on Twitter. Deal. Deal. My man Peter Wynn coming in with a $20 super chat. Shout out. He says, oh, hello, Marshall, and all the real ones. All the real ones. All the real ones. My man Peter Wynn, an absolute real one. The definition of a real one. Peter, we love you, man. We love you, man. There's a reason you're in the Knicks Now Hall of Fame. Oh, man. I like Turtle. I'll be keeping my eyes out for that video. If it's good, I'll pass it along to my bosses. How about that? Can I do 10-minute videos for a Nets channel? Nobody's watching the Nets. I don't know what that means. So we are at that number is not including that. What did he say? Let's go. So we're 20 away. Knicks needs a big month. Knicks Now needs a big month in July, baby. Big month in July. Rashad, you're already IG famous, dog. What do you got, like 800,000 followers on Instagram? Can I get a shout out or something? Sheesh. NY2AZ. $20 super chat. Major love to you. You've been being a real one, showing major love. I appreciate that. My dog says, my day is always a great day when I have Knicks Chat Sports. We good. Kessler would be great. Kessler would be a great addition. Kessler would be a great addition. Are we trading Deuce McBride for Walker Kessler? Because I think that's where the negotiations start. I think that's where the negotiations start. And I think you may need to add a couple of second-round picks to it as well. Bank, who's better, Walker Kessler or Nick Richards? It's Walker Kessler, and it's not even close. Nick Richards is a 26-year-old who is a backup. Walker Kessler could be a top 5 defensive center in the league in 5 years. He's 21 years old. He's 7'2". Walker Kessler would be an amazing addition. That could be the center of the future for the New York Knicks. Nick Richards is nothing more than a backup. What is his salary looking like? He's a rookie 2 years ago. So he's on a very cheap deal for the next 2 years. That's why you would trade him for Deuce. You got to make salaries match. Got to make salaries match. Silver Surfer, iHeart was nothing but a backup. I'm not going to agree with that. Isaiah Hartenstein was one of the best starting centers in the NBA last year. That's why he got $30 million in year one from the Thunder. My man Rashad, I appreciate you, homie. I appreciate you. Jake says, I like our rookie Ariel Huckporty. I wish I would find someone that supports me like Knicks fans support second-round picks. It's incredible, man. It's incredible. Sam Brown, do you think that Ariel Huckporty, the 58th pick in the NBA draft for the New York Knicks, can be their backup center this year? I would love to hear our international basketball scout, Sam Brown's opinion on Ariel Huckporty. He was the one who told me about him before the Knicks drafted. What do you think?
Not a fucking chance.
Why are we expecting Mr. Irrelevant to be a productive piece on a championship contender in the rookie season? It's a little much to ask. It's a little much to ask. Yeah, maybe in 2 years. But no, I do not think Ariel Huckporty can be the Knicks backup center if they want to win a championship. So please stop asking me. Nick Cooper in the building. Where have you been, Nick Cooper? Nick Cooper, I need you to stick around for 20 minutes. Did CPJ give you a call, Nick Cooper? Is that what happened? Nick Cooper, stick around for 10 minutes. You're going to like what we're about to talk about. Shout out to him. He says, would you rather trade for Kessler or Sengun? It would be so dumb for the Knicks to trade for Alperen Sengun. Be so dumb. It'd be so dumb, man. Like, adding Sengun to this team would be so stupid. So stupid. All right. Nick Cooper, I got 3 trade targets for the Knicks. Let's break it down. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. NBA free agency is off, and the New York Knicks have still not made any moves. But in today's video, I've got 3 players that I think all Knicks fans should be keeping their eyes on when it comes to a potential trade. Before I unveil 3 players I think the Knicks should trade for, name a player you want the Knicks to trade for. Name a player you want the Knicks to trade for. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am Marshall Green. Not sure if I said that off the top. We'll say it again. Don't forget it. Let's dive into it. The first player we're talking about on today's show is Alperen Sengun, the skilled offensive center for the Houston Rockets. And the reason we're talking about Alperen Sengun is because reports have come out that the Rockets are not expected to offer Sengun a max contract extension. And if the Rockets are not willing to give Sengun a max contract extension, that tells me they may be looking to move off of him and prioritize Jalen Green and the other young players on this team. So could he be available? Let's talk about it. He's a damn good basketball player. The growth he had from 2023 to 2024 was unbelievable. Sengun is one of the best young players in this league. 21 points per game last year. 9+ rebounds. 5 dimes a night. And he shot 53% from the field. And yes, he only shot 29% from 3. But the form is good. And I think the shot will come along in his career. And he's going to be a league average shooter from 3. 6'10", 243 pounds, 21 years old. 21 years old. The Knicks need a young player on this roster. You can't have only players that are 26 years old and above. You need a young player. And he plays like he's already in his prime, but he is still going to get better and better. He's baby Jokic. A lot of people say Hartenstein's baby Jokic. No, this guy is baby Jokic. He could score from the high post. He could face up. Excellent facilitator. The cuts to DiVincenzo and Hart and Anunoby and Bridges would be awesome. The 2-man game between Brunson and Alperen Sengun would be awesome. He's not a great defender. We can admit that. Not a great defender. He's an offensive player. The Knicks' offense would be unreal. The defense maybe takes a step back as he averages just 1.2 steals per game in this past season, and he averaged 0.9 blocks per game. 0.9 blocks per game. Is he a great rim protector? No. But you know what? Your offense would be the best in the league. and they wouldn't be cheap. Like, the Rockets will want a solid trade package in return. We've already seen this summer that the Rockets were targeting people like Kevin Durant. There were rumors out there they would pursue Devin Booker. We heard Paul George. They are star hunting. So I think they would ask for Julius Randle. Like, they want a star. They want someone that's box office. They want a scorer. Okay, they probably want Julius Randle. And Randle could be a free agent 11 months from now. So maybe the Knicks entertain this idea. Play this much. If this is your starting five, if your starting five is Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Alperen Sengun, I think you're title favorites. I think you're title favorites. And that's still with Mitchell Robinson on the bench, with Deuce McBride, Dante DiVincenzo, and hopefully another wing that you add. Maybe that's one of the rookies you drafted. This top five's damn good right here, fellas. You'd be the best offense in the league. You have 5 players that are all a threat to score the basketball. You've got 5 players that can score from every inch on the hardwood. And you've got 5 players that got high IQ, and they make players around them better. Would you do it? Would you trade Randle for Alperen Sengun? Would you trade Randle for Alperen Sengun? And if you don't know who he is, go watch his highlights after this. It might change your answer. Trade target number 2. What about Robert Williams III from the Portland Trailblazers? A couple of Knicks beat reporters have, I'm not saying reported, theorized, talked about, explored the idea of Robert Williams. And with them having DeAndre Ayton, and with them having the addition of Donovan Clingan, there's thoughts out there that the Portland Trailblazers could look to move on from him. But Marshall, he is injury prone. Yeah, I know. So is Mitchell Robinson. Look, Robert Williams, if and when healthy, is a perfect center for this team. If and when healthy. And I don't love that. I don't like having to say if and when healthy. But you add a guy who's a versatile defender, can guard almost anybody on the floor, a really good offensive rebounder as well. Like, it would be a great, great addition for the New York Knicks. Robert Williams is a great player. He averaged 3.9 offensive rebounds in 2021-2022. He averaged 3 offensive rebounds in 2022-2023. Look, it's not my top choice. I am scared to death about his durability. But you saw the games played. 1 year he did play 62 games. Could he do it again? I'm not so sure. Not my top choice, but a high-risk, high-reward move. High risk, high reward. I also think Mitchell Robinson is high risk, high reward. But that's another conversation for another day. Last player we want to talk about today's show is Walker Kessler, the big man from Utah. Reports are coming out from Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype that the Knicks are showing interest in Jazz center Walker Kessler as well as Hornets center Nick Richards. Nick Richards doesn't crack those 3 players that I'm extremely interested in. Walker Kessler, on the other hand, he does. I think that Kessler could be a player that is a part of the long-term future and could be the long-term starting center for the New York Knicks. 7'1", 256 pounds, 22 years old, and has already showcased in the NBA that he's one of the best shot blockers that the league has to offer. 2.3 in his rookie year, 2.4 in his sophomore season. He's only going to get better, and I think that him learning under Tom Thibodeau would take his game to another level. He played on Team USA last year. He has a relationship. He has a relationship with Jalen Brunson, has a relationship with Josh Hart. I'm sure he also has a relationship with Mikal Bridges, who was on Team USA this past summer. You'd have to give up Deuce McBride, though. Like, that is what the Utah Jazz are going to ask for. Deuce McBride. And trades, you got to give to get. You want to get something of value, you got to give up something of value. And I truly believe that Walker Kessler can be the center of the future for the New York Knicks. Tom Thibodeau, a defensive genius, someone that has developed plenty of players that have come to the New York Knicks since he's been the head coach, could turn him into a top defensive center in the NBA. I actually believe that. I really believe that if he is a Knick, and we look back in 5 years, we could say, he got a top 5 defensive center in the league. And you pair that with Brunson, Bridges, OG, Randle, Dante, Hart, you're going to be scary for any team that's trying to beat you in a 7-game series. Pick one of these to trade for. And I'm not just asking who is the best player on the screen. I'm asking you what you would have to give up. Sengun, you're going to have to give up Randle and maybe even Deuce as well as Mitch. For Robert Williams, I think it's probably Mitch and maybe a second-round pick or so. Walker Kessler, I think it's Deuce in a couple of seconds. Factoring in the price point, who would you want the Knicks to trade for, AS, RW, or WK? Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Knicks. Got a couple super chats. Let's go. Broken Chip says, just send in love. Let's go, Knicks. Marsha, you the man. Broken Chip, you are the man. Thank you for always being here, and thank you for always being a real one. CPJ, $20 super chat. Shout out to my guy. Smashing that trade button for Sengun. You had Alperen Sengun for Julius Randle, and your starting lineup is Brunson, Bridges, OG, Hart, and Sengun. You're winning 3 championships. You are. That team is unbelievable. Team is unbelievable. You get baby Jokic on. Could you imagine the 2-man game of Sengun and Brunson? The footwork. It would be unbelievable. Everyone's playing off too. Carlos Rivera says, love your show. Shout out to you, man. Marsh, why would we want Sengun? Because he's 21 years old, one of the most gifted centers in the league, and he just averaged 21 and 10. And he's a damn good player. It's pretty simple. I am Jules. Happy Marsh, happy 4th love, blessings, enjoy the holiday. Major love to you, I am Jules. That's my guy right there. That's my guy. Thank you for being a real one. Sengun, your championship team. Randle in a couple of seconds. We'll toss in Deuce. I'm going to do one more mailbag. Gabriel says, Marsh, you know Sengun only makes $5 million, right? What do we get along with Sengun for Randle? I think it would be Dylan Brooks. I think it'd be Dylan Brooks. I think it's Dylan Brooks and Sengun for Randle, Deuce, and handful of second-round picks, and maybe you throw in a first. That's what I think it'd most likely be. I wouldn't mind Dylan Brooks off the bench here. I think the guy is kind of trash, but he competes. He plays defense, and I'm sure Tom Thibodeau would love him. And he wouldn't be afraid to get in Tyrese Halliburton's face. Bun says, don't need to trade. Just find a willing big man that Tibbs can mold into a good backup center. Who is that? Because you can't just say that. Who is it? They aren't available. Is it Bobby Portis available for a trade? I don't know. Is Sengun deal realistic? The Rockets said they're not giving him a max contract extension. He's probably wanting that. Is it the most likely? Probably not. Is it realistic? Potentially. Big Johnson, why do y'all hate Randle so much? No one hates Julius Randle. I don't know who Julius Randle is as a person. Therefore, I cannot hate him. Rashad, yeah, I was called an idiot for saying the Knicks blew the first round this year because they were saving cap space to sign Isaiah Hartenstein. I went back and typed LOL as a response to everybody that commented that on the shorts. My favorite thing to do. No one gets held accountable these days, except on Knicks Now. I'm going to hold you accountable. People thought they were so smart. Marshall, we traded out of the first so we had more cap space for Hartenstein. Oh, wait, you didn't re-sign Hartenstein. I spent an hour yesterday responding to people with LOL on that short. 35,000 views. It was like 100 people. It was awesome. I love doing that. If you want to laugh, go look at the comments section of my reaction on the short to Pacome Dadier being picked. Also, that short framed me in a horrible way. I said this was my worst nightmare because I didn't know how to say the brother's name. It wasn't because the player. My worst nightmare on draft day is the Knicks drafting someone that I don't know how to say their name. I think the kid's got some skill, but I don't think he should have been the pick. So I start the video with, oh, my worst nightmare. And it's not because it was Pacome Dadier. It was because I didn't know how to pronounce the fella's name. SB was absolutely, I'm not going to call it a waste of a pick. I think the Knicks wasted an opportunity. I think they wasted an opportunity to get somebody better. Rich, can we get Walker and keep Mitch? Absolutely. Absolutely. How are we looking on questions? We're good? Okay. Last chance to get on the mailbag. Hashtag Knicks or Super Chat. All Super Chats are guaranteed to get on the show. I'll do a disclaimer off the top. Let's do it. What's up, 10 Toes Down? Keith Turner? Exactly, Bill. Exactly. If OG, Randle, JB, or Mitch gets hurt, Deuce minutes double easily. Odds are none of those guys are getting hurt. I feel you on that, Vasquez. I feel you on that. But, like, DiVincenzo is more insurance than Deuce for those guys, in my opinion. Maybe Jack puts down the show and we can talk about it. I'm not going to say. I'm going to let you drive the ship. All righty. Last call. Hashtag Knicks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag. And then we're out of here after that. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. We filmed this video on July 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're answering questions from subscribers. So if some of the questions people asked can't happen anymore, don't blame me. Just trying to get you guys content before I go out of town. LB So Wavy coming in. Also, if we didn't get to your question today, fix it, subscribe, and get on the next mailbag. I want Nick Richards on the Knicks. We won't have to give up much dealing with Charlotte, unlike Utah. Who are you giving up for Nick Richards, though? He cost $5 million. The Knicks don't want to hard cap themselves, so they have to give up somebody that makes $5 million. The only person on the Knicks that makes $5 million is Deuce McBride. Maybe you get a 3-team trade deal going, or maybe you add somebody else like Mitchell Robinson and you get another player back from Charlotte. But I've heard a lot of Knicks fans bring up the Nick Richards thing. It's a lot. The money makes it tough. This new CBA is a joke. It's ruining the NBA offseason. But adding Nick Richards is extremely tough to do. He makes $5 million. Nobody on the Knicks roster makes $6 million. So how do you get him? We're going to hard cap ourselves at the first apron for Nick Richards? I don't know, man. Leon Rose would have to get sticky with it. I think it'd have to be a 3-team trade of some sorts. Brian Fitzgerald, what's up, man? Can we trade Mitch for Kessler, free up cap space, and fill out the roster to include another available big? No, because trading Mitch for Walker Kessler does not bring you below the salary cap. You're just not a tax team, and you're not in the aprons. You would still only have the taxpayer mid-level exception to sign somebody that starts at $5.2 million. You trade Mitch for Kessler, Mitch makes 14, Kessler makes close to 4. You'd free up $10 million in tax money, but you're still over the cap. You would have to be $10 million under the cap to sign someone $10 million. That's just not where the Knicks are right now with their current books. Rashad, what's up, family? Are OG and McHale the top 2 wing defenders in the NBA? They're up there. They're up there. That's why you made the trade for them, because you're going to have to guard Boston. You're going to have to guard Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I think Tatum, Brown, and Holiday are up there as well. You talk about strictly a pair of wing defenders for the New York Knicks, pair of wing defenders for anybody in the NBA. Yeah, I do think they're up there with anybody. Absolutely. And I think they might be the best. Maybe Brown and Tatum are better. Brown and Holiday are better. Maybe Brown, Tatum, and Holiday are better than OG and McHale. But, yeah, I would for sure say they're at the top of the list there. Question of the real ones watching. Is this Julius Randle's last season with the Knicks? He's got a player option for 2025, 2026. He could accept that. He could decline that. I'm going to predict that he declines that and does not sign a contract extension this summer. It's going to be his last season with the Knicks. Let me know. Vernon, what's up, man? After the Bridges trades, how many firsts do we have realistic available to trade for a big? 2. You got 2. 2 tradable first-round picks right now. That's it. And do the Knicks want to trade those 2 first-round picks for a player right now? That's something that they're probably weighing. Johnson, in 3 years, what will happen to this roster? All the Nova boys' contracts will be up. Will the Knicks pay them all? Jalen Brunson is extending. Josh Hart's contract's not up in 3 years. DiVincenzo's is. I bet they bring him back. Josh Hart's extension starts this year. It was a 4-year extension. They're going to re-sign Bridges. You don't give up the control of 6 first-round picks if you're not going to re-sign him. Brunson for sure back. Bridges for sure back. Really strong belief that DiVincenzo's back. Randle, I don't know. Robinson, I don't know. But I think for the next 5 to 10 years, you can expect number 11 to be there, Bridges to be there, OG to be there, Hart to be there, and DiVincenzo to be there. That's your core, I think, for the foreseeable future. David Taylor, we need a big from the Rockets if we're taking Sengun for Randle. Sengun is the big. Sengun is the center. You could probably get... No, you don't need a big, because you would have Mitchell Robinson as your backup. Sengun plays center. And you could have Mitchell Robinson as your backup for 2 years. We talked about a trade idea of Randle for Alperen Sengun. You'd probably be getting Dylan Brooks back in his $22 million. So it's the most likely trade that would look like is the Knicks either add 1 first-round pick or they get ballsy and they throw in 2 with Randle and Deuce, and you get Sengun and Dylan Brooks back. You don't need to also get a big because you're getting a big. Your starting center would be Alperen Sengun. Michael Vasquez, I think we are underplaying the insurance part. Talking about Deuce McBride as insurance at this point. If OG, Randle, JB, or Mitch gets hurt, Deuce's minutes double easily. Odds are one of those guys are getting hurt. Yeah, you could say that about anybody, but if one of those guys gets hurt, Hart's going to go in the starting lineup before Deuce. Dante DiVincenzo's going into the starting lineup before Deuce, and then Deuce is off the bench. I get what you're trying to say, and I do agree with it. Like, yes, if injuries happen, Deuce will be called upon to do more. Again, the only way I'm trading Deuce is if I can get a player that is just as impactful as him that maybe plays another position that's a bigger need. It's really about it. Kolek should be your backup point guard this time next year. Dante DiVincenzo is your backup too at this point. I know Deuce is a really good player. That's why I would trade him for a really good player. Only 96 minutes to go around at that point guard and 2 guard spot. Brunson's getting 35 at minimum. So is Mikal Bridges. That means 26 minutes are left, but split between Deuce and Dante. There's just not all that much of a role here for Deuce if everybody is healthy. His minutes are going to get squeezed. But someone probably will get hurt. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Free, informative, entertaining updates every single day on your New York Knicks. So if that's what you're looking for, hit that sub button and help us get to 100,000 subscribers. Shipmaster Kyle, what do we do to get Kyle Lowry? I know that's your dream move. Dream move is kind of crazy to say Kyle Lowry is my dream move. Kyle Lowry is a player I want on this team for the veteran minimum. Like, if you can sign Kyle Lowry to the veteran minimum, you do it. You have to give him your taxpayer mid-level exception. You could do that as well. I would re-sign Precious Achiuwa, and then I would add Kyle Lowry to this team. Those would be my 2 next moves the Knicks should make. Luis, what do you think about getting Precious and push forward? I would love that. I would love to add Precious to this team. There's no reason not to re-sign Precious Achiuwa. You have his bird rights. You can pay him a pretty penny. And you can go over the cap to do it. I don't know what they're waiting for. I think another move could be coming via a trade. Gabriel, what's up, bro? Marsh, what do you think about the trade between the Knicks and Pistons from The Athletic? The Knicks are trying to win right now. Jay Ivey is not a win-now player. And I'm not giving up a pick and Deuce and Mitch for Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey, who I don't even know if Jaden Ivey's an NBA player at this point. I loved him in the draft process. Knicks don't need Jaden Ivey. Like, you got a starting point guard. I think a veteran at that spot. And you got Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek in next year, maybe not in 2024, but in 2025, Tyler Kolek is going to be your Jalen Brunson backup. I don't think there's a need for Jaden Ivey at this point. Carl, what's up, man? Would you trade Randle, Mitch, Deuce, and picks for Laurie and Kessler? You only have 2 first-round picks. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no to that. Because I think you're giving up the best player in the trade. I think Randall's better than Laurie. I do. Jake, I know this is crazy, but would you give all the Knicks draft picks to McBride and Shake Milton for a superstar like Antetokounmpo? Yes. Levi's the best. Does Walker Kessler have a midi? Not really. A playmaking up and can he defend on the perimeter? He's a rim protector. He's 7'1". He's a rim protector. I think he has better touch around the rim than Mitchell Robinson. I also think his IQ is better than Mitch. And he's been more durable. And he's 22. He's going to get better. I think a great trade would be Walker Kessler. Rashad, just for fun, better defender, OG or McHale? It's OG. I think OG Anunoby is the best wing defender in the NBA. You need somebody to guard a small forward. You need somebody to guard a power forward. I think OG Anunoby is the best in the NBA at it. I think he's the best one in the NBA at it. Grade Tom Thibodeau's tenure as the Knicks head coach so far. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Vernon, instead of traditional centers, any 6'10", 6'11" power forwards that can fill that role that are available? Not really. Not really. Free agency market kind of dried up pretty quick. It dried up pretty quick. I think the Knicks are looking for a trade. Supposedly interested in Nick Richards. Supposedly interested in Walker Kessler. Haven't heard much else besides that. Rashad, can you add Pacome Dadier, the rookie, to the Nets trade for Sharp Achiuwa? I don't think the Knicks would add Pacome Dadier to that trade. I think it would be a future second-round pick or multiple future second-round picks for Rashad. There's been some rumors out there that they try to add Day'Ron Sharp to that trade, but nothing juicy and nothing too forward on that. Ryan, I have faith in the front office. They've earned it in a way I can't even articulate. A lot to love about what this front office has done. But let's not act like every move they've made has been perfect. Let's not act like every move they've made has been perfect. But 90% of them have. So I get you. I trust them too. Brian B. Hey, Marsh, do you think there's a strategy out there to sign Precious Achiuwa and wait until the trade deadline to target a center? Yeah. I think that's probably the most likely move at this point. We'll see if they re-sign Precious. They can do it. I'm not sure why they have not at this point. If you want to talk more Knicks, hit me up on social media at @MarshallGreen_, @MarshallGreen_. And let's go Knicks. Yep, Burks to Miami. Alec Burks signed with the Miami Heat today on a 1-year deal. on a 1-year deal. Anthony, I'd love to get Naz Reid. It ain't possible, though, because Minnesota ain't trading him. Yeah, Burks to Miami felt kind of disrespectful. Burks to Miami felt a little disrespectful. All righty. We're going to sign off on today's show. Major love to everybody that tuned in, not just today, yesterday, the day before, and the day before that. 4 straight days of going live on this channel after going live 3 times last week. The audience has been awesome. The participation, the interaction, the conversation, the thoughts, the concerns, the hate. I've appreciated it all. We love y'all. We appreciate you. And let's go Knicks.